I'm Elizabeth, 30 years old, and I just landed in Boise after closing the biggest deal of my career in London. My phone buzzed the second the wheels touched down an email from Idaho First Bank. Your property at 1427 Maple Lane has been mortgaged for $280,000. I stared at the screen, heart pounding, then drove straight to my parents' house. In the suburbs, the kitchen light was on, and there they were waiting like it was planned. My mother looked up first. Faith needs the house more than you do. My brother leaned back in his chair with that smug grin. Come on, sis, don't be so selfish. I didn't say a word, just stood there taking it all in, because what came next would shut the whole room down before I dropped the exact few sentences that left everyone frozen. Hit that like button, subscribe right now, and comment below with your city so we can track how far this story spreads. That house wasn't just bricks, it was the only thing I ever owned outright. 7 years of 5 a.m. alarms in London, 80-hour weeks closing deals across time zones, dinner swallowed cold over glowing spreadsheets while rain hammered the window. I wired the final payment from a hotel in Singapore. No cosigners, no loan, just my name on the deed. Cash. Done. A 3-bedroom ranch on the edge of Boise, with a backyard big enough for silence. I was 24 when I signed the papers. Faith turned 16 that summer. His birthday blew up the backyard, smoke from the grill, music, thumping, 20 kids screaming over volleyball. I pulled a double shift at the pizza parlor, flour in my hair, grease on my apron, counting tips to cover textbooks. Came home at midnight to streamers still taped to the fence and a single leftover rib in the fridge. No one saved me a slice. College graduation was quieter. Black gown, empty seats on both sides of the aisle. I texted a photo to the family group chat. Mom replied, Faith has a fever, staying home. The fever lasted exactly one day. The ceremony, I walked the stage alone, diploma in one hand, phone dark in the other. Christmas came every like clockwork. Faith unwrapped Dad's old Ford pickup at 17 keys, dangling from a red bow. I got a sweater 2 sizes too big, sleeves past my fingertips, tag still attached like an afterthought. I wore it once, then folded it into a box marked donate. The house sat empty while I chased promotions overseas. I paid a gardener to mow the lawn, cleaner to dust the shelves. Every video call I'd angle the camera toward the fireplace, proof I'd built something solid. Faith would wave from the couch, our parents' living room, feet on the coffee table, asking when I'd finally come home for good. I flew in twice a year, left the key under the mat like a fool, told myself blood meant trust, told myself the late-night transfers for Jace's car insurance or Jace's community college fees were temporary, told myself the house was safe because it was mine. It was the only place I pictured retiring. A porch swing, coffee at sunrise. No more red-eye flights, no more eating alone, just roots I'd paid for in overtime and sleepless nights. But roots rot when someone else digs them up. Hours later, sleep wouldn't come. I couldn't sleep that night. Guest bed creaked under every shift. The walls too thin, the air too thick with old arguments. At 1:47 a.m. I gave up, slipped on jeans, grabbed the spare key, still hidden in the fake rock by the porch. The lock clicked like it remembered me. I eased the door shut behind me, barefoot on cold tile, heart already racing. Dad's study was at the end of the hall, door ajar. Moonlight striped the carpet through half-closed blinds. I knew the layout by muscle memory, left past the bathroom right at the family photo I was cropped from. The Desk sat under the window, oak scarred. From years of Jace's, homework and Dad's. Coffee rings, bottom drawer right side. Always unlocked, always. I pulled it. Open slow, manila folders, tax returns. Half-empty bottle of bourbon, then the bank envelope, thick official Idaho. First Bank logo glaring in black and gold. I slid the papers free. Mortgage. Agreement $280,000. Property address mine. Borrower Jade. Harper, signature line. My name in blue. Ink loops, too tight cross on the T. Slanted wrong, forged, sloppy, obvious. I flipped to the ID page, photocopy of my passport renewed last March in London. The copy was grainy, edges cut off, but the photo was mine. The number matched. They had scanned it from the file I left in the safe when I flew out for Christmas. Trusted them with the combination. Trusted wrong, phone out. Flash off. I photographed every page. Front back notary stamp, fine print. 23 shots. Zoomed on the signature until pixels blurred. Compared it to the real one on my driver's license pulled from my wallet. The difference screamed. My real loops flow. This one jerked like a child tracing. I kept digging under the mortgage folder. A second envelope. Loan application. Cosigners Yale and Uma. Harper, income verification. Dad's pension stubs. Mom's part-time payroll. From the library. Purpose of loan. Business startup. Faith Harper. Enterprises. Attached business plan. Hands scrolled. Napkin sketch of an online store revenue. Projections in crayon red marker. $280. $1,000 to launch handmade crafts. Globally, no collateral listed except my house. My pulse hammered in my ears. I folded the originals back exactly as found, slid the drawer shut without a sound, backed out of the study phone. Clutched to my chest. In the hallway, I paused at Jason's door, light off. Snoring steady, he slept like nothing burned. I returned to the guest room. Locked, the door sat on the floor with my back against it. Opened the photos. Enhanced the signature. Sent copies to my cloud, then to secure email only I could access. Deleted the gallery cache. Set the phone to airplane mode. The forgery wasn't even clever. The bank had to know, or they didn't care. Either way, tomorrow they would. By dawn I had a plan. The next morning I walked into Idaho First Bank in the charcoal suit I wore for boardroom's heels, clicking on marble like gunfire. No appointment. I gave the teller my name, flashed the deed printout, demanded the loan manager. 5 minutes later, a security guard escorted me past the velvet ropes to a glass office in the back. Mr. Wu stood when I entered, mid-50s, wire rim. Glasses tie too tight. He gestured to the chair opposite his desk. I stayed standing, dropped my leather folio like a gauntlet. Inside, original passport, driver's license, the forged mortgage packet I'd photographed, plus a fresh signature sample I'd inked on bank letterhead in the lobby. Explain this, I said, sliding the forgery across. He adjusted his glasses, flipped pages, forehead creasing deeper with each sheet. The signature page made him pause. Longest. He pulled a magnifying loupe from a drawer, held it over my forged name, then over the sample I'd just written. His exhale fogged the glass. This isn't your handwriting, he stated, not a question. No, and that I tapped the photocopy ID isn't verified. Grainy copy, no live scan, no in-person confirmation. Your compliance department skipped every red flag. Mr. Wu set the loop down. Fingers steepled. The loan funded 3 weeks ago, dispersed to a joint account. under Yale and Uma Harper with Faith. Harper listed as business principal. I don't care where the money went. I care that my asset is collateral without my consent. Identity theft, mortgage fraud. Federal crime. He glanced at the door. Lowered his voice. The board will want. This contained. A lawsuit would tank our quarter. Good. Contain it by giving me control. 7 calendar days. Full repayment. Principal, interest, fees. Wire it to an escrow I designate. Miss the deadline I file in federal court and CC every regulator from here to DC. Mr. Wu opened a drawer, pulled a legal pad. Started scribbling. We'll need the original documents returned after repayment. You get clean copies, I keep the evidence until the wire clears. He nodded, tore off the top sheet, slid it over. Demand letter template official. Bank letter had already dated. We'll draft the formal notice today. Foreclosure acceleration, if unpaid by Day 7, your property reverts to clear title upon satisfaction. I reviewed every line, initialed the margin, sent its certified return receipt, copy to my attorney. Done. He stood extended hand. I didn't take it. One more thing I said at the door. If anyone in this branch tips them off before the letter lands, I'll know, and your containment problem becomes a class action. His hand dropped. I left him pale behind the glass. That afternoon I fired off a text. I texted him coffee. The bean counter now. The bean counter occupied the corner of On Main, a narrow brick building with mismatched wooden tables and the perpetual scent of roasted beans. I arrived first, chose the back booth under the vintage Boise postcard wall, ordered a medium drip black. Barista tattooed forearm name tag. Riley. Slid it over with a nod. I wrapped both hands around the ceramic mug. Let the heat anchor me while I waited. Jay strolled in 31 minutes late, pushing the door with his shoulder like he owned the place. Hoodie charcoal gray premium. Brand embroidered logo on the chest. Price tag snipped, but the plastic loop still dangling from the hem. He carried a scratched MacBook under one arm. Venti iced something in the other straw. Already chewed flat, he scanned the room, spotted me, lifted his chin. Greeting. Hey sis, parking's a nightmare. Dropped into the seat opposite, set the laptop between us like a peace offering, brought the numbers. You're going to love this. Screen woke. With a tap, Excel file dominated the display. Faith Harper Handcraft Empire. Pro for columns stretched wide. Formulas tangled. Revenue forecast $1 million. In year 1 from Etsy plus Shopify plus. Custom TikTok drops breakdown 50,000. Learn units at $20 average viral. Marketing assumed expense tab $280,000. Total 100K inventory beads, resin molds. 80K influencer partnerships 50K. Warehouse lease 15K flagged in red high. Raise 3D printer critical for prototypes. Error messages littered the sheet. Circular references stuck value in. Profit row pivot table broken from. Copied cells. I scrolled down assumptions. Page market size pulled from a 2018 blog. Post competition listed as none local. Cash burn $23,000, monthly negative. This is what the bank funded. I asked Faith. Nodded, sipped his drink. Exactly, they saw the Vision House as collateral, sealed it. But prototype pipes sell the dream. That printer lets me mock up resin phone cases in 24 hours. Investors eat that up. I highlighted the printer line. $15,000 for one machine. Industrial grade, dual extruder, carbon fiber. Capable. He leaned forward, elbows on table. Look, just float me the 15. I'll flip the first batch, pay you back with interest. Family rate, I closed the lid. The snap echoed, not one more cent, his. Eyes widened, you can't be serious. This is my shot. Your shot torched my deed. I stood, slung my bag over shoulder. 7 days start now, fix it without me. I walked out, doorbell jingling behind me. Didn't look back. Sunday arrived too. Fast, Sunday dinner, 6 p.m. sharp. I didn't come alone. The oak table gleamed. Under the chandelier, same one since. Childhood, scarred from hot dishes and spilled gravy, roast chicken steamed. The center, mashed potatoes heaped high. Green beans glistening with butter. Mom. Uma bustled from kitchen to dining room. Apron tied tight, smile brittle. Dad, ya carved the bird with mechanic precision. Jay slouched in his usual chair, phone hidden under the table. I entered, last cousin Abe on my left, 64. Ex-cop shoulders filling the doorway. Taylor on my right, best friend since sophomore year, now corporate attorney. Briefcase in hand, Abe wore his retired detective blazer, Taylor a crisp navy suit. The room temperature dropped 5 degrees. Jade, you brought guests. Mom's voice pitched high, ladle hovering. Family and counsel, I said, pulling out my chair. Abe sat beside me, Taylor opposite Faith. I reached into my folder, placed the mortgage packet square on the placemat. $280,000. Bold on top, the thud silenced forks. Taylor opened her briefcase, extracted Idaho Code printouts, Section 45 VA 15. Assists, she read aloud, voice courtroom. Clear, mortgage fraud, civil penalties. Up to $500,000, plus treble damages and attorney fees, criminal referral. Optional, Jay's face drained. What the hell, language, Dad muttered, knife. Paused mid-slice, I slid the signature. Page forward, my name, not my hand. Photocopy ID, bank confirmed forgery. Yesterday, Mom dropped into receipt. Jade, honey, it was a loan, temporary. Temporarily stolen. Abe rumbled, arms crossed. I ran the prelim, bank sending. Acceleration notice tomorrow. Faith's eyes welled, tears spilled fast. Shoulders shaking, I just wanted to prove I could do it, build something. You're always gone. Mom reached for him. He only wanted to show he's capable. By stealing my house, I kept my voice. Level, 7 days full repayment principal. Interest fees wire to escrow, miss it. We file Monday morning, court. Garnishment liens, Taylor tapped the code again, judge signs the order. Pensions attached, day 1, Dad set the carving knife down, we'll sell what we can, start now, I said, clock's ticking. Jay sobbed louder, Mom pulled him close. Abe stared them down, Taylor packed her briefs. I stood, dinner's getting cold. Mom whispered, I lost my appetite. I replied and walked out with my team. Monday brought the first email, subject. Line urgent acceleration notice, Idaho. First bank letterhead, body failure to cure default within 77 calendar days. Will result in foreclosure sale. My address centered in bold. I forwarded it to Taylor, then to the family group. Chat, no reply for 6 hours. Mom broke. First, Tuesday morning, she drove to the pawn shop on Overland, slipped off the white gold wedding band Dad gave her in 89. Appraiser offered $2,800 cash. She haggled to $3,000. Walked out with an envelope of hundreds, eyes, red but dry. Deposited it same day into the joint account they had opened for business expenses. Dad followed Wednesday, listed the 72 Chevy pickup on Facebook Marketplace. Original paint, 350V, 112K miles. Buyer showed up with a trailer and $6,000 in 20s. Dad signed the title on the Tailgate, handed over keys, watched the truck disappear down the street. He texted me the sale receipt at 4:12 p.m. No comment. Jay spent Thursday boxing. His gaming rig, dual monitors RGB. Keyboard custom water-cooled PC VR. Headset every controller since PS2. Posted the bundle on local Discord for $800 firm. Sold in 43 minutes to a college kid who paid in Venmo. Faith transferred the funds immediately. Added a crying emoji in the group chat. Dad started night security Friday. Local warehouse 1000 p.m. to 6:00 a.m. 20-hour time and a half weekends. First paycheck. Stub $400 gross. He scanned it, uploaded to the chat at 7:03 a.m. Saturday. Still in uniform, I watched the balances climb. In the escrow dashboard, Taylor set up. Mom plundered $3,000, Dad truck $6,000. Faith plus $800, Dad week, won $400 running. Total $10, $200. They kept going. Mom sold her mother's china on eBay, collar, and $200 shipped. Dad pawned his high school class ring, $450. Jace flipped sneakers. He hoarded $150. Dad picked up overtime Saturday night. Another $240. By Sunday night, the dashboard read $92,000. Still $188,000. Short, my London bonus hit Monday early. Release approved after I emailed HR the family emergency clause, $30,000 net. I stared at the deposit notification, thumb hovering, transferred it to my personal savings instead. Let the chat know not bridging the gap. Clock stopped Sunday. They saw the message. No response. Day 8 arrived. 2 weeks later, I stood in court, Boise County Civil Courthouse, 3rd floor, walnut paneled room, smelling of polished wood and stale coffee. Taylor flanked me at plaintiff's table, tailored suit tablet glowing with exhibits across the aisle. Mom, Dad, Faith in ill-fitting jackets. Public defender shuffling papers. The gallery held cousin Abe, a court reporter. And empty seats. Judge Harlan Ellis entered, 60-ish, silver hair, gavel sharp. Harper v. Harper, counsel state. Appearances: Taylor Reese for plaintiff. Elizabeth, she said, public defender. Elena Vasquez for defendants. Taylor launched first. Your Honor, we move for summary judgment on breach of trust and identity misuse under Idaho Code 45 and 1506. Exhibits A through F forged. Mortgage photocopy, passport, bank confirmation of fraud. Damages $280,000. In principal plus interest. She projected the signatures side beside mine. Fluid, there's jagged, the room gasped. When the photocopy scanned appeared. Timestamp from Dad's study printer. Vasquez countered weakly. Defendants acted in good faith. Family loan, no. Intent to defraud. Stealing a deed isn't a loan. Taylor shot back, it's theft. Judge Ellis reviewed the file, glasses perched low. Ms. Reese remedy sought. Garnishment order 50% of defendants' Yale and Uma Harper's pensions until full restitution. One earned $200, monthly effective. Immediately, Mom whimpered, Dad gripped the table. Motion granted. Judge Ellis ruled. Order entered. Escrow account established. Noncompliance contempt. Jace's turn came next. Vasquez filed. Chapter 7, Mid-Herring personal. Bankruptcy. Assets zero after sales. Debts $280K plus cards. He's discharged. She pleaded. Approved. The judge nodded. But eviction notice stands. No lease eligibility with this filing. Gavel fell. Case closed. Outside, Mom lunged. Jade. Please. I turned away. Taylor handed me The stamped order. 3 days later, I boarded the flight to New York. Promotion locked. Senior VP Manhattan. Office. First stop realtor on the Upper West Side. 2-bedroom co-op Hudson. Views. $1.02 $2 million cash from my bonus and savings. Closing in 48 hours. Deed in my name only. No co-signers. I unpacked alone. Bookshelves first, then kitchen, blocked every number. Sunday night, mom's cell, dad's work line. Jace's burner, voicemails piled. We're sorry, looped into your killing us. Deleted on read. 6 months passed. Pensions garnished $7,200 total. Still $272 through $800 owed. Faith couch. Surf jobless. Mom took library shifts. Dad drove Uber. I walked Central Park. Daily coffee steaming, boundaries intact. Real family isn't blood, it's the people who respect your boundaries.